Okay, so unfortunately, the room is not ready, and unfortunately, it's on the second floor. So I'm gonna have to keep my gear on the bike, which is a little unfortunate for two reasons. First being that I have to leave it on here. Second being that I'm going to have less room for any groceries I should happen to find at the store. Oh crap. Oh, hey, it worked for once. Okay, so now I've got a 20-minute wait to get out of the parking lot over here. And sadly, it's probably going to take as long to get out of here as it's going to take to get there once I go. That was a blimp hanger. That's how big them things were. They weren't little. Okay. So this is actually a historical zeppelin hangar turned into a museum. those who think I don't know how to lean. I can. I just don't usually, because most of the time when I'm riding on these videos, the roads are wet and Guppy. Oh, air. Give me air. I need to breathe. Okay. Okay, where are you? There you are. This is my kickstand extender because the actual thing is back ordered. So I have this for putting under it on the rare occasion it goes where I want it to go. Because, like right now, that's how I was doing it. Okay. It's a little gooey here. And if you don't have it, then the kickstand sinks in. And you come out and your bike is laying on its side. Okay, so we're here. I'm going to go ahead and stop this one and we'll go and see what's going on. Okay, now let's see what we got going here. Okay, battery's almost dead on that one, which is what I figured. So, we're going to go ahead and pause this one also. And I'm going to get all my gear squared away, figure out what's going on, and head in and bring you back when and if we can. Okay, so we're all rung in and stuff. We already went in, used the restroom and all that good stuff, and then I had to come back out here and drop off my coat and stuff because it's 197.6 degrees out here right now. And I was dying in there. Plus I was standing in the bathroom taking off all my gear and realized I walked off in the middle of doing all this good stuff here and left my phone hanging out on the bike. So this is chest mount 2.0. We're going to try this again with a different foot. Hopefully you can hear me. That's kind of one of the bummer things about doing this stuff is that I don't know if all of this stuff is working until after the fact. Oh, that's my pant leg rubbing against this rock over here, making weird noises. Okay, so let us go to the Tillamook Air Museum. And I didn't have her on camera when she said it, but I did ask her about photography and videos, and she said go for it. So, we should be good. Hopefully this stuff shows up. Yeah. So, this is a self-guided tour here. So I'm not going to read all of these signs and stuff. Just kind of an overview of everything here is what we're looking for today. Reason being is this is here to come check out. So
10 seconds. That's the eye centered. 0.1 left. Centered. 3, 2, 1.
oh, it's kind of
Weapons away. Time of fall, 17 seconds.
Pilot need a brake left, mud march, 4 o'clock, extend, checks out.
Doors. Start. Chill 2-3.
Closed.
Depending south. Mud. Merge. Weapons away.
I don't know how much of this is showing up on there.
2, 1.
We've got audio playing in here. We got a little feeder here with some history.
The Americans' declaration of neutrality at the far-off war there didn't seem to be much of a need to go many. However,
This is a B-52 cockpit here. And they've got all kinds of information about these. This one in particular, they're restoring it for the museum. And more information generally on and there's some info here on zeppelins. And this little tiny one, second from the bottom, is the Goodyear blimp. Up to the Hindenburg on the top. Here's the A7. If you have the legs for it, you can climb up there and get a better look in the cockpit. Some information on the A7. This is the A7E. I need a shirt that says something like I'm not talking to myself, I'm filming. This is a map of all of the existing and destroyed blimp hangars in the U.S. Only a few of them are left, including this one. And again, this one has the ladder. You can climb up there and check them out. They have a little tugboat play area for the kids with the little airplanes and stuff in there. They have a VR headset tour now. They didn't have that last time. There's a McDonnell F4. They have a bunch of these. You can see here behind me. These ones are interactive. Some of these are displays. Somewhere they have the... I don't know if that's the one that Tom Hanks flew in one of the movies, Sully. I think that's probably it, because there's not a lot of F-14s in here. But these you can see how spacious these are inside. I won't be climbing into these today. I don't really fit in many of them anyway, but with all the camera gear in my way, it would be kind of difficult if I wanted to. Similar engine design to my Goldwing Horizontally opposed 6-cylinder, probably a little bigger, I would imagine. That one's not marked. And I can't remember what it is. Somebody watching knows. Here's an F8 Crusader. If you think you want to fly jets, I highly recommend you visit this place. Sit in one first. A4. I'm not getting up there to that one. Ooh, it makes me claustrophobic just looking at them. Yep, A7E. This is the same as that one over there. And the helicopter here, TH-57 Ranger. This is a look-only section. We can't play with these ones. I would be sitting in these ones for sure. Let's see what we have info here. 58 Persh fire truck over there. That's this one. They don't have the ladder truck here. Not sure what this one over here is. Oh, and this is a good point of view of this hangar. The F-14 makes a good reference. So does this fella over here. Not sure what this one is. A little before my time, I think. Suppose they wouldn't let me take it home. Needs a paint job and a tune-up, I'm sure. What we got here? C-27A. Hall of World War II. Some pretty neat stuff in this place. They have a lot of information on their website also. This is a replica of the British Anderson air raid shelters. This would be your little beds.
If this weren't so appalling, I think it would be one of the most wonderful sights I've ever seen. Another at the skyline, to the south, lit up with the running bow. Almost like
World War II Pacific War exhibit. Aircraft carrier Akagi. Before and after. Let's see. Not sure if this goes in chronological order or anything, but non-interactive models. In other words, just to look, not to touch. U-boat 505. It's quite the model. You put a little motor in that, take her for a ride around in the water. to see here? I'd recommend, if you're going to come and see this place, give yourself time. Like I said, I was just here last year. I've read a lot of this stuff, and so getting here in the afternoon, it's not a lot of time to stroll through and read everything. But if you get here in the morning, you can take the better part of the day. And they have a lot of information about things. A lot of people never got a chance to learn or have forgotten. Younger generations especially don't learn a lot about World War II anymore. Normandy, Utah Beach, Omaha Beach, Gold Beach, and Juneau Beach. Fun fact, when I went in the Army, I was trying to get that job, driving those. But there's not a lot of openings for that position, and they didn't have any when I signed up. So I got to drive trucks instead of boats. And that was by choice. I could have done pretty much any job in the Army. I just had a few that I wanted to do, and as it happened, I was able to get a job doing one of the ones that I wanted to do. This is Arizona. Yamato. Let's see. There's the carriers. Kaga, Shokaku, Zuikaku, Soryu, Hiryu, Akagi, Kirishima. We watched a show on that one. I can't remember what it was about, but it was about the Kirishima. Shoho. Here's one of ours, the Lexington. Just kind of to show you how neat of a place this is. And hopefully you're able to come visit. But if not, you can at least see how neat the place is. Like I said, a lot of the information they have on here is also on the website. So I recommend you can go look at the Tillamook Air Museum website. And this is the German stuff. See if I can get a little light in there. That's the U-boats. Not a whole lot of room in there. Once upon a time, I considered joining the Navy. That was what I was looking to do, was submarines. But I wasn't ready for the service yet, so I waited. And then when I went in the Army instead. German sub repair base. Bismarck. Sink the Bismarck. Here's the hood. It looked like they would be a fairly close match, but the hood didn't fare very well against the Bismarck. This is a section with information about women in the Holocaust. These are stories about specific women and general stories. This is the story of a Tillamook local. A Dutch immigrant's diary of adversity and triumph under Nazi occupation during World War II. Not very bright in here. Now, this is a replica of a crash site. Crashed in March 31st, 1948. Here we are. Was investigated between May 11th and 21st of 2010. So just a couple of years after it happened. See, they have more of these little exhibits like this. Then in the tent over there, we'll get there in a minute, they've got other planes. 727. Huh. 727 is the plane D.B. Cooper escaped from. This is what their cockpit looks like. I feel like a giant in here. Not sure what the heck is doing. This camera is possessed. This is an old school flight data recorder. It's yellow. It's a black box. It's supposed to be orange. looking into. Corvair 880. He's got a nice section of the fuselage in here. A little bit too far up there for me. I did it last time, but I'm not feeling it after that long ride. My back already hurts. So we'll skip it, but you're welcome to check it out yourself if you should happen to come by. Here we got some nice old tractors. Old Farmall, John Deere diesel. Oh, it's inflating. Co-op, Massey Ferguson. Case, only a few of these brands are still around. The other ones either got absorbed or closed down. I'm not sure what that one is. Alice Chalmers. Okay, it's an Alice Chalmers. 32. Air Force Tug. Huh. Ford. There's actually a couple of these ones out in our area that are still being used. International. Another Case. Another International Harvester, McCormick Farmall. Guessing that one's a John Deere. Mildly suggested by the paint job. McCormick Deering. So there's the farm row there. Well, Hebo pedestrian tunnels. Duck. Oh, Mount Hebo. So this is about Mount Hebo Air Force Station and radar. And this is how they connected the buildings with tunnels like this. Here. That way they could still travel from building to building in the snow. In 1969, the station saw 12 feet of snow in 3 days. So this way they could still move around with these tunnels. And there's a few more tractors, another Farmall, Ford, and another Alice Chalmers. Excuse me. Here we have some aircraft engines. They look a little different when they're naked. Pratt & Whitney J52. These guys in here. Pardon me, I'm yawning. Westinghouse J34. What's this one? These are rotaries. This is an R1820 Wright Cyclone. I don't know if you can see this on here, but they have these gears in here and a device in there that rotates, and that changes the pitch of the blade. That way it takes a bigger or a smaller slice of the air, which is how they accelerate. They don't speed up and slow down the engine on some of them. Some of them just run constant speed, and then they adjust the propeller to vary the thrust. This is a 2-cylinder. So, and then your propeller would be here on the front, or the other side. I'm not sure which is the front on you. It looks like that side over there, but this doesn't look all that different from something you'd find in your truck, your older truck. But V8 generated 300 horsepower. Liquid cooled engine V8. I'm not sure why it has so many. Some of the modern ones have multiple plugs per cylinder also, but I'm not sure what that was accomplishing in this particular design. Another one. First run in 1915. General Electric T64. Not electric. Pratt & Whitney. This one's got cutaways so you can see how everything works inside. It's not all that different from your car engine. Pistons move up and down in the cylinders, compressing the fuel-air mixture. Your valves move up and down to let air and fuel in and the exhaust out. That moves the crankshaft, makes it go around, which in this case turns your propeller. In your car, it turns your transmission input shaft. This is a horizontally opposed. This is like a Subaru or like my Goldwing engine. The pistons go side to side in here. In fact, the Goldwing is a 6-cylinder like that one. Rotary engines. This is a helicopter engine here. Lycoming T53. General Electric T58. The 12-cylinder inline. Same general principle. The pistons move up and down and turn the crankshaft. These are your valves. Your camshaft turns. The lobes push up and down, which pushes the valves open and close, lets them closed as it goes around. Inverted air-cooled 12-cylinder aircraft engine. Huh. So, not sure what they gained by turning it over, but it's really what it is. It's just an upside-down V12. This is air-cooled like your lawnmower or some motorcycle engines. But having problems with overheating at low speeds made them unreliable. Even some of the modern air-cooled engines have that same problem. Oh, I think maybe that was here last time. I'm not certain, but I seem to remember this alien dude hanging here looking out the window. That said, I don't remember what the heck it is, but you can see we got a sign over here, it'll tell us. The Thompson blimp. It's 82 feet. So 82 feet. 2 school buses. And it looks tiny in here. You could fit almost 10 of those the length of the Hindenburg. It's 782 feet, I think. This is an A4B Douglas Skyhawk. And again, if you think you want to fly jets, look at that. I've seen salad bowls bigger than that cockpit window. I mean, really. Even you took the handlebars off, I probably couldn't fit my motorcycle in that cockpit. An old train engine here. The Curtis Lumber Company. North American T-39 Saberliner. Business jet. Back in the day, flying in this thing, you were doing good. This was an Air Force one here in the pictures. This one's marked Air Force also. I don't know if it's the same one. Huh. Cruising speed at 500 miles an hour. So now we'll go back over here. This is where we started, but 803 feet is, so the Akron is what I was thinking of apparently. It's 785 feet. So you could fit almost 10 of those. It's smaller than even the smallest one on there. If that doesn't sink home how big this blimp hangar is, this is literally a hangar in a small section of the blimp hangar. This is a Boeing PT-17 Stearman. This one was delivered to the U.S. Army Air Force on November 16, 1942 at a cost of $5,930. I don't think you could fill the fuel tank on one for that these days. I want that right over there. If you know me at all, you know what I'm pointing at over there. You don't even have to ask. If you don't, it's the green one. That one with the red cross on it. This is like the one Harrison Ford crashed. This is a picture of his after he crashed it. It's a PT-22. Fisher R80 Tiger Moth. This is what it looks like naked. So purchased in 2002, finished in 2008, took 2,400 hours to complete. Newport 11. Is this a real one or a replica? This is a replica, 7/8 scale, meaning 87% of the original size. The originals were built in 1909, reorganized. Let's see, it's not really clear on here. But early 1900s, looks like 1915, 1916, 31 Sky Arrow, or 3L Sky Arrow, 3I Sky Arrow. It's not really clear. Looks like a 3i. Oh, okay. Iniziative Industriale Italiana, known as 3i. Okay, so yeah, interesting little thing here. Looks like a helicopter with the propeller or rotors replaced with a propeller and wing. First flown in July 1992. Went on the market in 93. Base model was $83,500. Rutan Model 61. That's the one John Denver, not this one obviously, but the same model as the one John Denver crashed. And if you thought drones were a new thing, you're wrong. First flight tested in 1946. This is a radio plane, OQ-19 drone. It's a 4-cylinder engine on there. Could fly for 90 minutes at sea level. This should be my next truck. Dodge ambulance. I don't care. Pickup, ambulance, personnel carrier, command car. I would take any of them. World War II Army cot has changed very little. Mine is it's like 6 years old, and the only difference is that these are aluminum tube. And they're pocketed on the sides. They aren't strapped like this one is. So, like this is here, that's how the sides are on the modern ones. Still every bit a bitch to put together. And BAC Jet Provost. Used by the British Royal Air Force from 1955 to 1993. It's a training aircraft. The PZL LIM 5 MiG-17F. Sorry if the noise is coming through, they're working over there. So it's a single-seater fighter aircraft. Saw considerable combat with the North Vietnamese during the Vietnam War. Total of 10,367 of these aircraft were produced from 1952 to 1964. This is an experimental little guy here. It's like an ultralight. You can see the wings are like fabric over skeleton. The fuselage is the same. You probably can't see that from the video. Doesn't have any sign or info on it other than experimental right there on the side of it. So, Arctic Research Laboratory. So you could change its shoes depending on the season. So you put those on and you can land in the snow. Cessna 180 Skywagon. Here's this one after it hit a pile of frozen fish in a whiteout. This first produced in February of 1953. Production came to an end in 1981. Oh, that one too. I didn't see that one there last time. So this is a Bellanca 1413 Cruise Air Senior. There, hopefully you can see it, because I don't know if you heard that or not. Making not the noise over there right now. So Douglas A-26C Invader. This funky looking feller over here is a Cayman HTK-1. Cover of Flying Magazine on April 1953. And they built these total of 29 of them between 51 and 53. For training. Synchronized intermeshing rotors. So instead of front and rear like a Chinook, they're side by side, and they're timed so that they can rotate over each other. Don't ask me how they thought that up, because it just sounds like a bad idea to me. One little mistake or failing in that system, man. Whack. Sea Ranger, Bell TH-57C. Okay, well, hopefully this thing is actually doing what it's supposed to be doing, because it's acting like an idiot. So, anyway, Windrider gyroplane. Okay. Okay. I'm trying to see when this thing is made. Oh, there it is. First manufactured in July 1986 in Broomfield, Colorado. And if you don't know, a gyroplane, that top rotor spins by the force of the wind. So it's driven by this propeller on the back like an airplane. That moving through the air makes the top rotor spin, and that's what gives it lift. It's not actually driven like a helicopter. When you hear them refer to a helicopter going down using the autogyro effect to slow its descent, that's the same effect that this uses to power the top rotor. It's an action of the wind passing over it, spins it, and creates a level of lift. The difference is that uses thrust from the back to make that lift greater than the weight of it for climbing. Whereas in a helicopter, they use speed. They lose altitude to gain speed to make lift to slow their descent. If that makes sense. Please stay off and out of. That one says experimental on the wall in there. I'm not even going to try that. It's right there if you want to try it. CA65 Skyfly. Built in June 1st, 1975. Built by Charles Wilcoxon. June 14th, 2017, had his very last flight when he flew to and was donated to the Tillamook Air Museum. Has foldable wings to allow for easy storage. I wonder if they'll help me load my bike in the back of this so I can drive it home. If you have one of these, I accept donations. My contact information is in the channel info. And this is the helium plant. So this is the helium production center here. It's a base hospital, listed men's mess. Here all exists, the garage, central steam plant. The firehouse, tennis court, paint and oil storage, temporary warehouse, and the Horton Sphere, which is highlighted over here. Those were used to hold impure helium.
Storage tanks, traveling through a 12-inch metal plate into the blends. Feel free to walk around this machinery and imagine all the activity that went on in this hangar during World War II.
Master power panel, main electric motor. Don't stick your finger in that while it's spinning. Air compressor. Purified helium high pressure pipes. Your pressure gauge. Tool panel over here is where your stuff would be hanging. Wonder if my jacket's dried out yet. Okay. Well, that just about wraps it up. Okay, so Norma Jean Daughtry, also known as Marilyn Monroe, photographed at the radio plant factory in the fall of 1944. So that's what she actually looked like before the blonde hair and all the other crap. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and check out the little gift shop out here, and then I'll bring you back in a little bit. We'll check out the Guppy out there. Okay, so this is the Mini Guppy over here, cargo airplane. It's outside the museum, obviously, so am I. Sorry if it's windy. Hopefully the new furry stuff on the microphone will help with that. So this is what they call the Mini Guppy. You can probably see it's got a big old swollen belly body on it. Well, not belly, it's more of the top than the belly. Down there without dumping my phone. There's a passageway down into the underbelly here. You can see down in there. That area is where the latrine was located and where aircraft equipment such as batteries, control cables, and storage of small items would be placed. There's the Europa airship, Goodyear blimp, 1972. That was the fins and tail section in there. So this rear section here swings open. And you can see the swollen area around here, around the cockpit. Oh, this floor is flexible when it's going.
Okay, I got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
wrapping station. Looks like that would have been a window on a standard fuselage. So there's where they would fly. The engineer station back here. It's hard to describe how stuffy it feels in here, and this flexi floor is making me feel like I'm drunk or something. They loaded an airplane in here. Boat, helicopters. Brought in as an exhibit in 2008. The Mini Guppy was featured in the 1992 Jean-Claude Van Damme film Universal Soldier. I've seen that movie. I don't remember that. I'll have to see if I have that one still. There's 56 spark plugs in each engine. Geez, 224 spark plugs on the plane. And these platforms would be rolled. They lock in here on these rails. They still use a similar system. When we flew out of Afghanistan, we were in aircraft chairs on pallets like this, and they would roll back and forth as the plane moved. It was hilarious. Fortunately, I was in the side rails where they were actually attached to the airplane. Cruising speed, 240 miles an hour. "18 feet, 2-inch diameter inside. It had a sibling, the Mini Guppy turbine, also built by Aerospace Lines. First flew on March 13th, 1970. Unfortunately, the Mini Guppy turbine crashed on one of its test flights on May 12th, 1970 at Edwards Air Force Base in California, killing all 4 members of the flight crew and completely destroying the airplane. There's where it came from. It was originally a Strato cruiser. Huh. This was the Mini Guppy as a 377 Strato cruiser. Okay, well, that was the Air Museum. So now, gotta get all the way back over to the bike, get everything put away, figured out, and see what time it is here. It's It's almost 12:30, or 12:30, almost 3:30. So from here, let's go check out the lighthouse. So I've only got one battery left, and this one's almost dead. So I'm going to go ahead and call it for now, and then I'll bring you back when we're getting ready to head over there.